What if Shah Rukh Khan had survived the shootout at the end of Bazigar? He'd set up a factory that makes action figures of Bollywood actors and get married to Kajol, who wouldn't let the minor fact that he murdered her sister get in the way of their love. No, this isn't a proposed sequel or a remake of the film, it's a story by writer SRK Fan on fanfiction.net. In the inventive world of Bollywood fanfiction, Om and Sandhya from Om Shanti Om make an appearance on Coffee with Karan, Dumbledore meets Daya, and there's an Ashiki 3 in which Varun Dhawan is a rapper. In this episode of FC Dissect, we delve into the fascinating world of Bollywood fanfiction. But what is fanfiction? It's when people take characters or plotlines from original works like movies and books and make them their own. This could mean either reworking a film, continuing the story, or creating an entirely new universe with those characters. Chances are you've read or heard of at least one fanfic. Did you know 50 Shades of Grey started out as Twilight fanfiction called Master of the Universe? Now it's $1 billion franchise. Before converting her 2009 fic into the bestseller, author E.L. James removed everything that could infringe on Twilight's copyright. It's a practice known in fanfiction circles as filing off the serial numbers. But for every fanfic that achieves mainstream success, there are those that achieve notoriety. My Immortal, a Harry Potter fic, was universally dubbed the worst fanfiction ever written. Its sheer ridiculousness inspired fan art and even a web series that ran for 2 whole seasons. When it comes to Bollywood, we'll focus on fanfiction being written on 3 major sites: Archive of Our Own, fanfiction.net and Wattpad. Fanfiction.net, where SRK Fan posted her story Haar Kar Jeetne Wale Ko Bazigar Kehte Hain, is the largest fanfiction website in the world. Founded in 1998, it's home to over 1 million fics, but only a small number are Bollywood themed, as against the site's 3 biggest fandoms: Harry Potter, Naruto and Twilight. Archive of Our Own, started in 2008, beats fanfiction.net in terms of popularity. As of 2018, it had 1.8 million users. There, Marvel Comics, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Harry Potter fandoms dwarf the Bollywood community's output. Some of the most recently posted fics on both sites are rooted in the universes of newer films like Razi, Manmarzia and Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga. The earliest posted fics are retellings of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Kal Ho Na Ho and Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, which are also some of the most popular films to write about. On Wattpad, a site that has an estimated 70 million users, a majority of the stories tend to focus on the celebrities' private personas rather than their movies. There are fics in which Siddharth Malhotra is a mafia king, Katrina Kaif is a beauty blogger, and Ranbir Kapoor a taxi driver. This is called real person fanfiction, something that fanfiction.net banned in 2001. Writers on Wattpad also tend to explore or ship the possibility of a romantic relationship between any 2 popular stars. Deepika Padukone could end up with Ranveer Singh, sure, but also with Harry Styles, Zayn Malik or Ryan Gosling. Vivi Hardika, a 26-year-old from Jakarta, writes Deepika Ranbir fanfiction in Indonesian. Here's what she said.
So why I pick Salman Khan, Ranbir Kapoor and Deepika? Because I love them. I'm a die-hard fan of them. Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone and Ranbir Kapoor, Varun Dhawan, the newcomer Sara Ali Khan. Actually, I upset when they break up, so I express my upset in the fanfiction.
But why write fanfiction? Authors who write these stories don't get paid for their work, but still put in time and effort in crafting them. Fanfiction.net has stories like a 79,000-word fanfic that picks up from where Dawn 2 left off. Archive of Our Own's longest Bollywood fanfic is also Dawn-themed, a staggering 108,000 words written over 73 chapters in 2017. One user of fanfiction.net, Silver Mist Ruhi, has written 3 Razi-themed stories. She's 15, lives in Surat, and started writing fanfiction when she was just 11. She says, I note my ideas down into a notebook so that I can refer to them when I sit down to write. You need to know whose perspective you want to write from and how it's narrated and what kind of expressions and words are to be used to portray a given scene. The tense also matters a lot because the wrong tense can make the story very confusing. I give my stories however long they need until I myself am satisfied with the work before I post them. So what makes people want to dive into the world of fanfiction? For some users, fanfiction is a way to ensure representation that they miss out on seeing on the big screen. LGBTQIA relationships in Hindi cinema have been few and far between, but on the internet there's space for /fic. That's fanfiction which focuses on attraction between fictional characters of the same sex. Similarly, women who don't have a voice on screen are given agency in fanfiction. Take Naina's Decision, a 1700-word Kalhona Ho fic on fanfiction.net. The description by author Sergeant Mom 573 reads, "I didn't much care for how Naina was portrayed as a wet rag whenever Aman came around. This fic is my version of how things would have worked out if Naina just had a backbone." User Chocolate Is My Drug's fanfiction Complications fills in a crucial part of Tina's backstory missing from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Her finding out she has only 8 months left to live and deciding to write her Meri Pyari Anjali letters. While Helen's gypsy dancer character only appears on screen in Sholay for a few minutes, author Triffic's fic, Never Waver, examines her internal monologue while she dances to Mehbooba before Gabbar Singh. In 2018, Wattpad readers spent close to 116 million minutes reading stories tagged POC, diversity, and diverse lit. A deep love for the movies and the actors in them also motivates fanfiction writers. Razi tells us an extraordinary story about an extraordinarily brave person. "I fell in love with the movie and thought there had to be more to the story. Bollywood fics are like the movies themselves, light-hearted and fun. Although now I think we might be able to see more serious and diverse genres of fanfiction in Bollywood, as the movies themselves are changing," says Silver Miss Ruhi. She's not the only author who feels that way. There are people writing crossover fics that really push the boundaries of their universes. Never Say Goodbye, by author Eloquently Insane, transplants the characters of Twilight into the universe of Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. The marital angst remains. Dil LOTR remix by writer Mesopotamia imagines the Lord of the Rings characters living in the plot of Amir Khan's starrer Dil. Fan casting fics are also popular. In them, writers envision their dream cast starring in the sequel of a yesteryear movie. Hum Saath Saath Hai 2, a multi-part story by writer Royal Kard, sees newer stars like Alia Bhatt, Varun Dhawan and Sushant Singh Rajput play the children of the original Hum Saath Saath Hai couples. The reviews are all positive, with readers urging the writers to update faster. Validation and constructive critique also keeps writers going. Haley, a 26-year-old from Edinburgh, is the author of a Dawn fanfiction that is 33,000 words long. But what drives someone to write 33,000 words? Feedback, she says. The fic has 100 reviews, most of which praise the romantic tension between the characters.
You get the feedback of the audience. They tell you what is right, what is wrong, what you should and how you should improve your writing. It helps you a lot.
But who's writing fanfiction? The anonymity offered by fanfiction.net, AO3 and Wattpad means it's rare to find accounts bearing the author's real name, revealing their gender or even publicly displaying their country of origin. An author from Bahrain, who writes under the pseudonym Pinky Patel, recently self-published Veere in the City, a book described as erotic fanfiction inspired by the hit film.
I'm not sure what kind of reaction I would get from the public reading my book, and I don't want to receive any weird messages. I do a lot of very interesting work in my life, like the stand-up comedy, so I don't want to be pigeonholed as just that chick that writes the sexy novels, you know?
It's also fair to assume that the majority of fanfiction writers are women. In a 2017 article, Glasgow-based writer Claire Biddle said, "I would go as far as to say fandom is a wholly non-male space." Writers Gavia Baker Whitelaw and Aja Romano estimate around 95% of fanfiction writers are women. A 2013 survey of 10,005 AO3 users revealed that 90.3% of them were female.
You know, if somebody were to create fanfiction with my work, I would honestly feel flattered. I think a person would be compelled to create a world around some existing characters only if the story has really moved them, if they've really been touched by those characters. So much so that they then want to own them in some way. They want to make them their own. That tells me something about the work from which they're getting inspired. So that means that work touched them at such a deep level. And if I were to have fanfiction created around my work, I would take it as flattery. It blows my mind that people do that people write such long chapters and thousands of words about a story and don't care to reveal their name. Can I read some of this fanfiction about my movie? I've not even read it. Hey, good morning. I hope this is okay. Kuhu's voice sounded a bit gravely, as though she had now woken up or was awake but hadn't actually spoken for a few hours. Sweetie loved it. She pulled her blanket over her head and played the message again, grinning widely at the sound of Kuhu's voice. Hi, good morning, Ji. She replied in a hushed tone, pressing the little mic against her lips. Ji, I thought we were past those formalities by now. Kuhu teased her. Sorry, habit, I guess. Sweetie replied lamely, not sure how to carry the conversation. Kuhu must have sensed this because the next message that came was a selfie of herself on a balcony with a mug of coffee in the hand, not holding her phone. And she was wearing glasses. Sweetie dropped her phone. How is it possible for one person to be so beautiful? She thought. Her phone vibrated again and she picked it up from the bed. So this is me having coffee on my balcony and talking to a pretty girl. Kuhu flirted. What are you doing? Send me a selfie. The message continued with Kuhu's voice taking on a tentative tone. Sweetie blushed. This girl was too much. She looked back at Kuhu's picture and smiled, running her finger gently across the image on her screen. She then looked up at her own reflection in the mirror across the room. Her hair was a bit frizzy from sleeping on it, and her clothes looked quite rumpled. Even her face hadn't been washed for the morning. There was no way she would let Kuhu see her like this. Nahi Kuhu, abhi nahi. Baad mein maybe? She sent off the voice note, hoping the girl wouldn't be too annoyed. Acha, theek hai. I'll hold you to that. But at least tell me what you're doing or what your room is like maybe. Kuhu bargained. This is so sweet. This is so sweet.